Hello students.
In today's video, we will be seeing about Chandragupta II and the Golden Age of Guptas, Part 1. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel without subscribing, I request you to please subscribe to my channel. It will be a great encouragement for me. Please do click the bell button so that you will receive notification whenever I will upload new videos. Now without wasting time, let us get into the video. Chandragupta II, 375 to 415th century era. So in the last video, we have seen about Samudragupta and his conquests. Now after the death of Samudragupta, Chandragupta II ascended the throne. So after the death of Samudragupta, the next ruler was Chandragupta II. His main achievement was he defeated the Shaka ruler Rudrasena and annexed his kingdom. Chandragupta II defeated the Shaka ruler Rudrasena and he annexed his kingdom. He also strengthened his empire by matrimonial alliance with Nagas and Vakatakas. Other than expanding his empire through conquest, Chandragupta II also used matrimonial alliance for expanding his empire. So matrimonial alliance means getting into marriage relationship with princes of other empire and thus getting into some kind of a relationship. So he also strengthened his empire by matrimonial alliance. That matrimonial alliance was done with the Nagas and Vakatakas. He was known as Vikramaditya. Chandragupta II was also called as Vikramaditya. He was a great patron of scholars and poets. The 9 great scholars known as Navaratnas adorned his court. So Chandragupta II was a great patron of scholars and poets, and the 9 great scholars called as Navaratnas belonged to the court of Chandragupta II. Ujjain was his second capital. So we have already studied that Patliputra was the first capital of Guptas. Now Ujjain was the second capital during the time of Chandragupta II. So after the death of Samudragupta, Chandragupta II came to throne. His main achievement was he defeated Shaka ruler Rudrasena and annexed his kingdom. He also strengthened his empire by matrimonial alliance. Matrimonial alliance was done with Nagas and Vakatakas. He was also known as Vikramaditya. Chandragupta II was a great patron of scholars and poets, and the 9 great scholars, that is Navaratnas, adorned the court of Chandragupta II. Ujjain was his second capital. Now let us see about Fahian's visit. Fahian's visit, 399 to 414 century era. Fahian was a Chinese traveler. He visited India during the reign of Chandragupta II. So now when we have studied about sources, I think in the first chapters, we have studied about many Chinese travelers coming to India. So Fahian was one such Chinese traveler. He visited India during the reign of Chandragupta II. The main purpose of his visit to India was to study Buddhism. So Fahian mainly came to India to study about Buddhism. His observations were recorded in his book Gokoki. So whatever Fahian saw during his visit to India, that was recorded in Fahian's book. The book's name was Gokoki. The book gives us information on the religious, economic and social conditions of those times. So because Fahian visited India during the rule of Chandragupta II, the book Gokoki gives information on the religious, economic and social conditions of those times. So Fahian was a Chinese traveler. He visited India during the reign of Chandragupta II. The main purpose of his visit was to study about Buddhism. His observations were recorded in his book Gokoki, and this book gives us information on the religious, economic and social conditions of those times. Now the next is a very important topic for you, that is Golden Age of Guptas. This question is a very important essay question which can be asked in your final exams. So let us see in detail about Golden Age of Guptas. First part of the answer first part of this topic I'll be explaining in this video. Next part I will be continuing the next video. So please go through both thoroughly. Gupta age has a unique position in the history of India. So the age of Gupta has a very important position in the history of India. The European writers have compared it with the age of Pericles of Greece, Augustus Caesar of Rome, and Queen Elizabeth of England. So why has these European writers compared Gupta age to all these ages? Due to the all-round development in this age. So the European writers, they have compared Gupta age to the age of Pericles in Greece, Augustus Caesar of Rome, and Queen Elizabeth of England. Gupta age saw achievements in the field of religion, education, literature, art, architecture, science, technology, etc. So the list goes without end. The Gupta age saw achievements in all the fields, that is religion, education, literature, art and architecture, science, technology, etc. Now, what are the main reasons why Gupta age was called as Golden Age? We will see some of the main reasons. The first was the revival of Hinduism. This is one of the outstanding features of Gupta age. The Gupta emperors were followers of Hinduism, but they were tolerant towards other religions like Buddhism and Jainism. So even though Gupta emperors were followers of Hinduism, they were very tolerant rulers. They were very tolerant towards all other religions like Buddhism and Jainism. See, now Gupta age has a unique position in the history of India. The European writers have compared it to the age of Pericles of Greece, Augustus of Rome, Queen Elizabeth of England, all because of the all-round development, and it saw development in all different fields. The first outstanding feature of Gupta age was the revival of Hinduism. The emperors were followers of Hinduism, but they were very tolerant towards other religions like Buddhism and Jainism. Hindu religion received great encouragement and became the state religion of Guptas. Because the rulers were followers of Hinduism, the religion received great encouragement and it became the state religion of Guptas. The worship of Vishnu, Shiva and Durga became popular. So Hindu religion got great encouragement, it became the state religion, and because of that the worship of gods like Vishnu, Shiva and Durga became very popular. The rulers performed Vedic rites, sacrifices and rituals like Ashwamedha, Vajapeya and Rajasuya. When we have studied about Samudragupta, we have already studied that Samudragupta performed Ashwamedha sacrifice and he took the title Ashwamedha Parakrama. So that is what the rulers performed, different Vedic rites, sacrifices and rituals like Ashwamedha, Vajapeya, Rajasuya, etc. During the Gupta age, many Vishnu temples were constructed. So they gave importance to the worship of Vishnu, Shiva and Durga, and during this age many Vishnu temples were constructed. Shaiva and Shakti cult also became popular, that is Shiva Shakti cult also became very popular during the Gupta age. So the worship of Vishnu, Shiva and Durga was very popular. The rulers performed Vedic rites, sacrifices and rituals like Ashwamedha, Vajapeya and Rajasuya. During the Gupta age, many Vishnu temples were constructed and Shaiva and Shakti cult also became very popular. So the revival of Hinduism is the first main side heading which you have to learn in the essay, that is Gupta age, Golden age. Now let us move on to the next important topic, that is education. So what all developments was seen in education during the Gupta age? Education greatly flourished under the Guptas. So there was a lot of development in the field of education during the rule of Guptas. The kings themselves were great scholars and educationalists. Even the kings themselves, they were great scholars and educationalists. We have studied about Samudragupta, we have studied about Chandragupta too. So all these kings also were great scholars and educationalists. A number of universities were started during the Gupta age. So for the purpose of further education or higher education, a number of universities were started during the Gupta age. So education greatly flourished under the Guptas. The kings themselves were great scholars and educationalists. and a number of universities were started during the Gupta age. They attracted not only Indians but also foreign students. These universities, they attracted not only Indian students but also foreign students. Many foreign students came to these universities for studies. The main universities of Gupta period were Takshashila, Nalanda, Sarnath, Ajanta. All these were the important universities during the Gupta period. Pataliputra and Vallabhi were great centers of education. Other than universities, there were many centers of education. Two among them were Pataliputra and Vallabhi. They were great centers of education. The important subjects taught were Puranas, literature, philosophy, arithmetic, astrology and science. So there were many important subjects which were taught in these universities. They were Puranas, literature, philosophy, arithmetic, astrology and science. So many universities developed during Gupta age. These universities attracted not only Indian students but also foreign students. The main universities of Gupta period were Takshashila, Nalanda, Sarnath and Ajanta. Pataliputra and Vallabhi were the great centers of education. The important subjects taught were Puranas, literature, philosophy, arithmetic, astrology and science. So that is about development in the field of education during Gupta age. So we have seen about revival of Hinduism, and also we have seen about the development of education. Few more points are there regarding golden age of Guptas. Those points I will be explaining in the next video. So now let us see some important questions regarding the topics which we have studied in the last two videos. So first question, who founded the Gupta dynasty? Sri Gupta. When did the Gupta era commence? It commenced from the accession of Chandragupta I, who ruled from 320 to 335 century era. So Gupta era commenced from 320 to 335 century era. Who composed the Allahabad pillar inscription? The Allahabad pillar inscription was composed by Harisena. Which inscription of Samudragupta reveals his expeditions? The Allahabad pillar inscription composed by Harisena tells us about the expeditions of Samudragupta. So the answer is Allahabad pillar inscription. Who is the author of Kavya Mimamse? Answer, Rajashekara. Who was the greatest king of Gupta dynasty? Samudragupta. Which Gupta ruler performed Ashwamedha sacrifice? Samudragupta. Who had the title Kaviraja? Samudragupta. Which was the two capitals of the Guptas? Pataliputra and Ujjain were the two capitals of Guptas. Which inscription describes the conquest of Samudragupta and who composed it? Allahabad pillar inscription by Harisena tells us about the conquest of Samudragupta. Explain the conquest of Samudragupta. So this answer is explained in the previous video. In the previous video we have seen about Samudragupta's conquest, which is divided into North Indian campaign, conquest of forest kingdom, South Indian campaign and conquest of border states. So you can refer to the previous video to see the answer for this question, conquest of Samudragupta. So I hope you have understood all the points very clearly. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.